Nicole here with Job Hunt Solutions, and in today's video we're going to look at how to make the most of your job search during these last 5 weeks of summer. Now, many job seekers actually decide to take the summer off because they feel that not a whole lot happens in the hiring process during the summer months because, after all, it is vacation season. Now, although that is true, it is high vacation season, that doesn't mean that people are still, not changing jobs. Companies are still identifying needs that they have. Business does continue to go on. It just might be a little bit slower during vacation season. So with that in mind, it may actually be a great idea at this time of year to continue your job search because if there's a lot of job seekers who decide to take the summer off, that means there's less competition in the market. So if you are just starting your job search or, restarting your job search now during the summer months or the last sort of push of the summer, then the most important thing to do, I think, is to really come up with an action plan for yourself. Now, in this action plan, as I said, we've got about 5 weeks left before we get right back into September when things really start to go on another upswing when it comes to hiring and people are back in gear with back to school, etc. For the first week, what I would recommend you do is first get your marketing material together. So this would include your resume. Make sure that you dust that off. You've got maybe a couple of different versions or one that you can tailor to different roles. Also, if you have a templated cover letter or thank you and follow-up letters, that's great. If you don't, I've actually got a couple of free ones on my website. I'll have a link in the description below, but you can feel free, you can download those, you can use those directly from my website, so that might be really helpful for you if you need to have some covering letters. And in addition to your marketing material, you should also come up with some lists. So there's going to be a number of lists that I would recommend you have. So the first one being your target company list. And so any organizations that you're interested in working for, based on any number of criteria, if they're really great in your industry or companies you're interested in, start coming up with that list of target companies. I would also recommend that you come up with, maybe 2 or 3 recruitment agencies that you might want to target as well. In previous posts, you can find some videos here, I do talk about working with recruitment agencies, and I do recommend using recruitment agencies to augment your job search. And a final list that I would recommend you pull together is your networking list. So the list of those people, maybe friends, former colleagues, former bosses, people that you might know out there that you can network with and meet with to really infuse as part of your job search strategy. And the next thing that I would recommend as part of sort of that first week's grouping of activities is to come up with a job search schedule. So when you're coming up with your schedule, really you just want to look at some of the tasks that you may need to accomplish and then how much time each of these tasks will take, and then figure out how that will fit into your schedule based on the capacity in terms of time that you will have during the following 4 weeks. So as an example, you may want to look at applying to different jobs, setting up, reaching out to part of your network, having networking meetings, and maybe having interviews. So those would be kind of the common tasks, but then break that down in terms of how long will each of these tasks take. So as an example, if we look at applying to jobs, maybe it takes 10 minutes based on the different sites and different applicant tracking systems that you may need to upload your resume to. Well, it takes a little bit more than just the time to apply to the job. You also may need to build in some time in terms of actually conducting your job searches, going from site to site, etc. The good news is, though, that on a lot of the job boards, so whether that's LinkedIn, Monster, Workopolis, as well as the company's career page of their website, they'll have what's called job agents or job search agents. So once you sort of conduct a couple of searches that really seem to come back with some great results, you can save those as job search agents. What this will do for you is automate the process later on down the line. The other thing to look at, so just kind of another example, would be either your networking meetings or your interviews. So although a networking meeting or say an interview, maybe it takes you an hour. But you also need to build in the time that it takes for you to get there, with maybe a bit of cushion time to make sure that you are arriving a little bit early, as well as the time it takes for you to get home. In addition, there's going to be the preparation time. So all of the research that you might need to do. So say if you spend at least 2 hours doing research, and then on your way home, or once you get home rather, the time it takes to maybe send some thank you notes, maybe follow-up notes, as well as setting up some calendar reminders for yourself when to follow up with your different contacts. So once you're adding it up, all of this time and how much these things take, you can start to put that and plug that into your schedule. Now keep in mind, during your first week, it's not going to be likely that you're going to have too many interviews or networking meetings already set up. So you can spend a little bit more time on the front end, making sure that you get your job alerts and all of those kinds of things kind of set up, and you've got your searches going. And of course, if there are other things and other activities that you want to be engaged with during this time, things like maybe taking a course online or doing volunteer work, you want to make sure that you're building that into your capacity plan and your schedule as well. Now, as a final thought, we still have quite a bit of summer left, so I would encourage you to get out there and enjoy yourself. Make sure that you're still connecting with your friends and family. This is a great time as well if you're invited to barbecues or weddings or just different functions. Now, you can use this opportunity to continue with your job search and network with people as well, because as I've said before, you never know who might know of a job opportunity for you. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked this video or found it helpful, please do press like, share, and subscribe to my channel. If you have any other tips or advice or comments, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below. Alternately, if you have any video ideas, questions, or would like to collaborate, I would love to hear from you. Of course, you can reach me on email, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, whatever works for you. And of course, for personalized advice, if you need to have some extra help with either getting your resume together or coming up with your own job search schedule, come on over to my website. I would be happy to help. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, happy hunting!